Hey there, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and we've got another junk journal flip through. This is a custom order through my Etsy shop, actually from one of you guys, from one of my viewers. So I am really excited about this one. It turned out so beautifully, in my opinion anyway. Lynn, if you're watching, I hope that you got the journal and you love it so much. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. So let's go through it. This customer requested a yellow leather cover. There were some other things that she had asked for that I thought better suited a darker yellow, that rather than like a bright sunshiny yellow, maybe in contrast to something like this. And I'm really pleased that I asked her if we could go with this darker mustardy yellow color. I think it just fits beautifully. We'll take a look a little bit at the outside. The cover itself is just gorgeous, so I didn't really want to like glue anything on there or add lace or anything like that. We're just going to let it be. Here are where the signatures are sewn in, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. And if we hold it up like this, you can see there's lots of lace there. So, are we ready to take a look inside of this thing? Of course we are. That's why we're here. Alright. So, on the inside cover, we've got this kind of lace flip down thing with some leaves and an acorn and stuff. And every time I would open it, it kept falling all over the place. So I just secured it with a little Velcro dot so that it could be lifted up. And there's my page 1 creations. This is number 33. And we've got a fox and then a quote. Every time you see one of these quotes, I believe there's 5 in here with like the drop case, the big capital letter, and the rest of the quote. It's from Mr. Rogers. I recently got a book of quotes by Mr. Rogers in one of my thrifting hauls, and I found this quote to be particularly apropos. I am not sure if I'm going to read all of the quotes to you, but we'll definitely read this one. It says, "I've often hesitated in beginning a project because I've thought it'll never turn out to be even remotely like the good idea I have as I start. I could just feel how good it could be, but I decided that for the present I would create the best way I know how and accept the ambiguities." That's very much how I felt going into this project. In every junk journal that I make, I have this vision in my mind of this amazing, gorgeous thing, and it never turns out the way that I expected it to, but at the same time, it's like a beautiful surprise, because I did not imagine this journal that you're about to see, but I'm really pleased with it. And Lynn, if you decide to hate it, you can send it back and I'll use it. Alright, so just to go over some of the things that she requested, of course, the leather cover, foxes, leaves, moths, butterflies, old photos, retro, old postcards, lace. There's a bunch of things. I have a list. Anyway, so you're going to be seeing those things as we come through. There's quite a few of these Tim Holtz sentiments, so I'll read those out to you so you can see what they are. This one says, "Turn the page," because we have to start off the book that way, right? This is an old book page that's in German. There are going to be several of these. Not all of them have these decorations. Some are just a page of plain text. But I just really love them. And they're the old German font that they used to use back in the day. And I happened to find a book that had this font in it, so I was really pleased. It's Elizabeth Taylor. And this says, "Use your wings." Now the background behind this fox is some Phantom Mist Distress, not oxide, Distress mica stain. Yes, that's what it's called. I did a lot of work and looked at a lot of strategies to come up with rain, because that was another one of her requests. And I came up with using this Phantom Mist, which was one of Tim Holtz's new Halloween colors for his 2023 release. And it is gorgeous. It's like this silvery, oh sorry, I made some noise there. It's this silvery, kind of slightly bluish tint, but mostly silvery, shimmery stuff. And I've used a raindrop stencil. This page looks a little bit funky, so I covered it with the fox, but you can still see some of the raindrops, and you'll see more of those. I think there's at least one page with the raindrops in every signature. Lots of foxes. Some are cute, some are little smart alecky. This one's sticking his tongue out at us. She did say not to worry about giving her too much journal space, but I wanted to include some. It's just not in me to like decorate every page, because then what's the point? It needs to become her journal, right? So there are definitely going to be some pages in here that are wide open for journaling space. Look at that cute fox. This page has got a little acetate packet that this old postcard she can pull right out of, and then she can also see the beautiful back side. It's like very aged and also gorgeous. And this is actually a double pocket, so she can slide it down there or inside the 2 layers of the acetate, so she can use it as 2 pockets. Here's some old ledger paper. This is from a master board that I made. You can see a bit of the leather here that come from the cover. There's a Tim Holtz sentiment. It says, remember this. We've got some different papers, washi tapes, fabric. This is a Tim Holtz fabric. This old photo. Look at this couple. They're looking at each other like, oh, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen. So precious. Anyway, I made a master board, and some of the pieces turned into pages like this. Some turned into tags that you'll see as we go through the journal, but lots of neutral colors and a bit of this like golden yellow from the cover. Some of these vintage postcards that look like ads, like this one's for bicycles. We got some leaves here. Now you might be thinking, is that a pink rose? Pink, pink, pink. Pink doesn't necessarily fit with the color palette of this journal, and you'd be right by saying that. But let me explain. Pink shows up in this journal for a couple of reasons. There are little touches here and there. One, because of some of the digitals that I was using just had pink on them. But 2, and most importantly, is that Lynn loves pink. She once told me that like everything in her house was pink. So I'm hoping that she'll appreciate that I remembered that. So from this point moving forward, we've kind of seen a lot of examples of what we're going to see in the journal. So if I don't narrate every single page, my apologies. It's just, they speak for themselves. I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit more. And let's take a look at what else is here. This fox is saying, ugh. Because maybe she'll have a day where she's feeling ugh and she wants to journal about it, right? In my heart. Oh, tags coming out. Alright, this is some old-timey looking paper, and we've got a hidden pocket here. And as you saw, the tag was falling out of it. We've got, this is one of the tags that I made from the master board, and this little fox is yawning. Originally, I wasn't sure about these stickers that are very cartoony, very poppy, but I think that they work. I think they're super cute. These little dapper foxes are so much fun too. He's wearing a top hat. Oh, so cute. We haven't seen one of these yet. Each signature has one of these little dangles. It's just like a bulb pin, and each have a little bead and a charm. Some are leaves and some are keys. Some more moths here. I want to go to this place. I mean, it's just an artist's creation, but I want to go there. This one has this long pocket with some more Tim Holtz fabric on it and a butterfly, and then we've got 2 items in here. We've got another tag from the master board, and then we've got this gorgeousness. It's actually 2 pieces. This is a vintage postcard from Winchester Cathedral, and then on the back is stuck this illustration from wartime, showing a projectile leaving gun. This came to me in a box of vintage ephemera stuff, and you cannot get this stuff separated. But I also think it's kind of gorgeous that way. So we're just gonna enjoy it in its state that it's in. Now, Lynn, if you're watching this and you're thinking, black paper, what am I supposed to do with that? Get a white jelly roll pen or a white like paint pen or chalk pen or something and write on it, or metallic markers. All of those things can work really well on black paper. Here we've got another piece of leather making this little tuck spot, and I took a paint sample card and added some foxes here, and it is backed with some coffee and bubble dyed paper, and I added a little tiny paper clip just to help hold it. Lynn wanted a horse in here somewhere, so she's got two horses. We've got this gorgeous thing. She reminds me of a horse that my family used to have. Her name was Chansey, and she was the perfect horse. We loved her so much, and unfortunately she passed away many years ago. I still have a little fob with her hair on it. In fact, I'll show it to you. So when Chansey died, my sister saved her mane and tail and took them to this lady who makes these memorial pieces out of horsehair. So we've got this little braided ball here with a leather loop, and this is some of her hair. And no, she didn't have gray hairs because she was getting old. This is just her color. She was a blue roan, and she looked very gray. It almost the color Grulia, which I think is what this horse would be classified as here. But this is very special. Alright, that was kind of a weird random side note, but there you go. I always think it's nice to see personal touches. I specifically picked this horse because she reminded me of Chansey out of the horses that I had available to choose from. And then on the next page, on the reverse of that, let's see, we're going to see the back end of a horse. The front end of this horse will be made visible later. But this is a gray horse. Gray horses in my mind are also gorgeous. And no, they're not the same as the other colors I was talking about. We can do a whole video on colors of horses if you really want to know. But I did put this little thing down here with some flowers that says Wander. And this is some wallpaper. And then on the other side I decorated it with this vintage ad and some green accents, and then there's a little journaling card that tucks in here. And we've got some more rain. This is the other part of that wallpaper, and I just covered it with leaves. I had gone to Joann's and gotten like some different synthetic flowers and things like this, and I took a bunch of the leaves off and glued them down, and then I found this cute yellow flower. And I also, when I was there, I bought some eucalyptus, and I think I'm gonna just tuck this in as part of like the closure. The smell of this is just amazing. I've had this big eucalyptus piece on my craft desk for a couple weeks now, and it's just made the house smell so good, or at least this part of the house anyway. I love this, and I don't know if Lynn likes it or not, so I didn't want to like permanently attach it into the journal. It also creates a little bit of bulk even though it's quite flat. So it's just going to be kind of stuck there. If she likes the smell of it, she can glue it in or something like that. There's the front end of the horse. And this one says Adventure Awaits. And here is the other half of that first horse we saw. She's got leaves and flowers and stuff weaved in her mane. Start somewhere. This lady looks like she's heading out on a fun journey. She's got her suitcase. This is another Mr. Rogers quote. It says, "Love and trust in the space between what's said and what's heard in our life can make all the difference in this world." And I added a little bit of gold leafing down here. It is a pain in the butt to do. Can I just tell you that? And unfortunately, a little bit of the gold leafing rubbed off on this page here, so I'm very sorry about that. Some more vintage paper ad kind of things. I love this expression this girl's got, like, ooh. Another cute fox. Here is a key. This page is lots of sparkly. I added some sparkly butterflies just for fun and added this choose to shine. This is a special photo. This is my great grandmother. People say that we look alike. Just kidding, it's me. I used one of those apps that was like changes your face and you can put yourself in an old vintage photo or something. So this is me, my face, anyway, put into this glamorous lady. And I put be amazed here. I thought it would be fun to put myself in there, just because I can't really say that I know Lynn in person, but like she's been commenting on my videos for ages and is always supportive. And I don't know, I just thought it would be fun to stick a little bit of me in there. So Lynn, I'm curious to know, when you first flipped through this, did you recognize this as me, or did you think it was just another old picture? Anyway, more rain, more shiny rain. And here we have from a children's book, It's Raining, It's Pouring, Rain, Rain, Go Away. Dreamer of Dreams. There's another piece from the masterboard just kind of tucked behind this fox there. I love this burgundy color. You do you. We gotta get a closer look at this picture. This girl is like decked out. She's definitely having a you do you moment, like a choose to shine kind of moment even. And her little brother behind her is looking at her like, okay, you're weird. You can see that some of these pages are sewn together, and I left the strings intentionally because I love the look of them. Lynn, you're welcome to cut these off if you don't like them hanging. Another vintage ad is also a pocket for a masterboard tag. Isn't this just gorgeous? Oh, love it. Here's another page made from the masterboard, and this one says Lost and Found. We've got some kids up here. Okay, so Lost and Found just popped a song lyric into my head. It was a song actually I was listening to this morning. Freddie Mercury and Montserrat, I don't know how to say her last name, an opera singer. I think it was in the 80s maybe? They sang a bunch of songs together. You can look at this up on YouTube. There's a song called How Can I Go On? And there's a line that Freddie Mercury sings. It's like, I'm lost and there's nowhere to be found. How can I go on? And that just popped into my head when I saw that. So there you go. There's your singing moment for this video. Here's another fun pocket. We've got a fox that says wishful down here. Some more of that lace we saw in the very front. And another old postcard. This is from Versailles. And it says Versailles, and then a whole bunch of stuff in French. And then I think this is a translation. Petit Trianon Park, Miller's House. Usually when we think of Versailles, we think of the palace. But this would be a Miller's house in that same neck of the woods. And just a beautiful empty postcard on the back side. But this is real actual vintage ephemera, which is so much fun to work with. All the vintage postcards you see are actual real ones, not the ad ones like we saw. Where was that? Not these ones. Those are like reproductions. But the ones that are like place postcards in the black and white, those are all real. Real meaning like from the time period. Am I confusing you? I'm confusing me. Look, magic coming out of a book. Lynn does love to read, so I thought that would be very appropriate to include. Oh, he's so handsome. Can foxes be considered handsome? Sure. Here's another Mr. Rogers quote. He says, "When I was a boy, I used to think that strong meant having big muscles, great physical power. But the longer I live, the more I realize that real strength has much more to do with what is not seen. Real strength has to do with helping others." Oh, love it. Here's another children's book page. We've got a girl out in the rain. And then just some magical woodlands here and some more rain. Here's another little trinket with a leaf on it. Another pocket. This is a vintage ad for Walmart, and we've got another masterboard tag in there. Yeah, I know the couple are in bathing suits, and this is not a very summery journal, but guess what? I like the picture. They're cute. Focus on the good down here. We're going to start to see more blues creep in. This is the 4th signature that we're in, and the 5th signature especially is going to have more blues because it's going to move from, we've been in this kind of autumn, maybe late summer moment, but now we're going to move more towards winter. I intentionally planned it this way, so that's why this is the first point where you're starting to see blues specifically popping up. Another ad, and then a real postcard here. This is from Heidelberg. Be authentic. Oh, right there. Be authentic. Another Mr. Rogers quote. "How many times have you noticed that it's the little quiet moments in the midst of life that seem to give the rest extra special meaning?" How is Mr. Rogers so wise? I mean, yeah, love him. If you haven't watched the documentary about him, I think it's called Won't You Be My Neighbor? Watch it. It's so lovely. Made me cry though. Here's another of the paint samples. It is backed with copy and bubble dye paper, and we have some more foxes on there. And this one says "full of wonder" down here. This fox is very dressed up. Perhaps she's going to a foresty wedding. This fox's hat, it's kind of mushroomy. I don't know. For some reason, it's making me think of David the Gnome. You know that cartoon? Now, we're about to see one of my favorite pages in the whole entire journal right here. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Oh, look at her! I had these massive butterfly wings and I thought I'd never use them, and then it just hit me like, this lady needs wings. Let's use the great big ones. Monarch wings. Oh my gosh. And free to fly. Perfect. Perfect. She's so gorgeous. Ooh. This page I also really love. It says "Make Today Count" up here, and I had some paper that came from Temu, I believe, that was like enchanted forest, kind of fantasy forest themed, and there was this tree branch that arced across the page, and I thought someone needs to sit on that tree branch, and I had this Tim Holtz paper doll of these 3 gentlemen. I thought, perfect, they're gonna sit here. Now, they are in this very green space. They can see that winter is just around the corner, and we've already had our first little storm because there's snow here. You're going to see some white embossing happening in this signature, some snowfall texture paste at one point, because we're bringing it into winter. And it is a bit of an abrupt transition from green to winter, but I don't care. I think it's gorgeous. Birds in the trees, already snowing. They haven't flown south for the winter yet. This sticker, I wasn't sure I was gonna put it in, but it's so stinking cute. It says, "Oh, for Fox's sake." Again, Lynn, if you hate it, you can cover it up or, whatever. Whatever you want to do, it's your journal now. The flowers you're going to see here are going to be more gray tone because we are going into winter, so these are more winter blossoms as opposed to the browns and the yellows and golds and things that we've been seeing in the earlier parts of the journal. We're still going to see some yellow tone things because those of you who live in snowy climates know that we still have some of those things peeking up through the snow every once in a while. Here we've got another one of these ads, and it is a pocket for a little masterword tag with some foxes kissing. Be you bravely. Here we've got a fox in the wintertime. Another page from the masterboard. It says, "Do what you love." This is a very tiny pocket at the bottom with another postcard. Ile Saint Honorat. I am not good at pronouncing foreign language things. On the back it says Old Monastery, so this is where some monks used to live. Interesting. Now, notice the picture here. We've got some legs kicked up and someone's laying down. We're going to see the rest of that picture here in a little bit. These moths even have gotten snow on them. Here you're going to see the snowfall texture paste here by Ranger. It is chunky and glittery and shiny, and I love it. Love it. Take risks. Both of these distinguished looking foxes here have blue hats on in the signature. Again, keeping blue in the wintertime. Alright, now remember we looked at the picture someone was laying down? Okay, you ready to see the rest of it? Here we can see a young man reading a book. Ooh, 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 and another young man reading a book. So we've got this double flip out. There's a couple little foxes in winter gear hanging out there. I used some more of this blue snowflake paper as well as some Tim Holtz fabric to decorate the flip out. We got some more vintage looking paper. Another lady here that says "Be curious." More foxes. Aren't they cute? More rain, because it does rain in the wintertime. I can attest to that. I live in a very wintry place. Sometimes it snows, sometimes it rains, sometimes it does not precipitate at all. This last winter kicked our butts with snow. Here's our last little dangle, and there's a leaf on it, and it is coming undone. What is happening to you? You're falling apart. Fixed. Alright, now we've reached the end. There's just this page left, so we're going to see the two sides of it. We have our last Mr. Rogers quote. So what words of wisdom is Mr. Rogers going to leave us with? Here we go. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. I've felt that many times. My hope for all of us is that the miles we go before we sleep will be filled with all the feelings that come from deep caring, delight, sadness, joy, wisdom, and then in all the endings of our life, we will be able to see the new beginnings. We added one butterfly because sometimes at the end of winter, we start to see new beginnings again, and that butterfly signifies change that comes with the new beginning. And there is our final page. We have reached the end. All right. So there's only one thing left to do, and that is to add the closure. And get this ready to ship. Okay, so I'm using sari silk. It is the exact color, well, pretty dang close to exact, of the cover. And I've added a little charm on the end. So I took a bulb pen and hooked this bead in this little thing that I got in like a broken jewelry package ages ago that I've been wanting to use for quite a while. So it has a little succulent on it and a butterfly. We're going to take this and then we're going to wrap the sari silk. I'm going to do it a little bit higher up than the middle. Hopefully that will become evident as to why here in a second. Wrap, wrap, wrap. All right. And then we're going to tuck this under and let it dangle. So there we go. So that, do you now see why I did it higher? Because the dangle thing. Yeah. I'm so great with words. Oh, you can tell it's time for school to start again because my brain is going to mush. Okay, so we're going to wrap this baby up in bubble wrap and pop her in the box. And I've got a little card that I wrote for Lynn, and we're going to put in that eucalyptus. And then she will be ready to go. I did not name this journal. Sometimes I name the journals that I make, sometimes I do not. This one, I just couldn't think of the exact name for her, so I'm going to let Lynn take care of that. There is the note, there is the eucalyptus, and we're ready to go. So thanks for joining me on this flip through. I hope you had a nice time. Let me know in the comments below what you guys have been up to, whether that's reading, journaling, crafting, or other things. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, journaling, crafting. Adios.